Today, I'm taking a deep dive into some of the times that chefs decide to serve up sass instead of actual dishes. Just like this contestant, who gained quite the reputation for her awful attitude throughout the season. And to make things even worse, she decided to push Chef Andy's buttons. So, in Season 9, Episode 4, things went downhill pretty quickly. During prep time, Elise Harris started dishing out an attitude to sous chef Andy.
The cook's down, like, could you stop talking to me like I'm your fucking child?
And let me tell you, Andy wasn't having any of it. She straight up told Elise to cut the crap like she was some sort of kid or something. You can already see that Elise had picked a fight that she had no shot of winning. But did Elise get the memo and, stop there?
Yeah, you're always talking back to me and you don't need to talk back to me.
Oh no, she kept on talking back to sous chef Andy even though Andy made it clear she was the one calling the shots. Like, why do you even want to mess with someone who's so far ahead of you at your own game? It's as if you're just begging for trouble.
I'm here, you're here. Get it straight. Hello? I heard you.
And Elise was about to be served plates full of it. Because when Elise tried to sound all condescending, saying that she got what Andy was saying, that's when Andy had enough. She straight up called out Elise for her total lack of respect and snarky behavior.
You're so disrespectful.
Well, if you thought sous chef Scott was the only one who had a bad temper, then think again. Because, as it turns out, it doesn't take much to make Andy angry. However, despite all the trouble Elise put her through, sous chef Andy bit her tongue and got back to the grind. But let me tell you, she wasn't having any of that nonsense when it came to Tiffany Johnson. Yup, this contestant spared no one in the kitchen, not even sous chef Andy. Now, you've seen several mid-service ejections and eliminations that didn't even take a second to be called out, but this time, it wasn't Chef Ramsay. Tiffany sure did get herself kicked out of the kitchen. But this time, it was by the powerhouse we've all come to love, sous chef Andy. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she had a ton of fun with this one. Anyway, here's what happened. In Season 10, Tiffany managed to stick around till Episode 13 despite all the drama, attitude, and chaos she brought to the team. However, during the dinner service, things really got out of hand. The red team was down to their final 2 orders, and Tiffany had no clue how long those damn potatoes would take to reheat. And Christina wasn't too happy about it.
You should know they're your potatoes, right? That was your component, right? That was your idea for the menu, right?
But that's not all. Sous chef Andy swooped in and called Tiffany out on her lousy attitude, branding her as the sloppiest cook she's ever seen. I mean, fair's fair, Andy. I'm definitely with you on that one. Anyway, that's when Tiffany pulled out the crocodile tears and made a ton of fake apologies. But sous chef Andy saw right through it all and wasted no time in dropping the hammer.
You're the floppiest cook I've ever seen my whole entire life.
And you won't believe what happened next.
Why don't you take a walk and Dana take over her section? Have fun.
Damn, that was rude as hell. Finally, someone did the right thing. I'm so glad Andy kicked Tiffany right out of the service and put Dana on the garnish duty. I don't think I've ever seen a more deserving mid-service ejection. Like, tell me, am I wrong about saying that, you guys? As Tiffany slinked back to the dorms with her tail between her legs, she was fuming. Going by her reputation, are you even surprised? She even felt that her teammates had made her look like a total fool. And as if it couldn't have been planned any better, Tiffany was the one who ended up on the chopping block after being nominated by her own teammates. And you know what? Chef Ramsay was long past being done with her. He finally gave her the boot, sending that drama-packed contestant packing. And good riddance at that. However, this next contestant truly couldn't care less when his teammates were in the hot seat. Well, don't tell me I didn't warn you, cause I hope you're ready for the rudeness to go up a notch from this point on. During one of the dinner services of Season 11, Dan Ryan found himself on the garnish station alongside Barrett. And if that wasn't enough on its own, things were about to get a whole lot crazier. While Ramsay was giving Christian an earful for screwing up over and over and over again, take a wild guess what Dan was up to.
Hey you, we're in the shit.
Yup, dude was casually sipping on his water like he was lounging at a spa or something. Just throw some cucumbers over his eyes and it'd be a picture-perfect scene. Now, Christian might have been the one getting the scolding, but seriously, could Dan have been any more of an insufferable jerk? I mean, come on, showing blatant disrespect right in front of Chef Ramsay?
Drop those scallops. You having a drink? You're right.
Nah, not a great move, man. Now, once Chef Ramsay was finished with Christian, what do you think was in store for Dan? Well, he didn't let it slide, I'll tell you that much. Chef Ramsay hit back with his signature sarcasm, telling Dan to make sure that he adds some lemon to that water and enjoy his leisurely time in the kitchen.
You're right. A little bit of lemon in there.
Ugh, I don't know, chef. Maybe a face peel and a nail file would be more appropriate. And wait, I'm forgetting something. All of this was happening while the hungry diners were waiting for their food outside of the kitchen. Well, that's Ramsay for you, always the one to serve up a sharp retort when someone's acting like a total smartass. And you really can't deny that Dan wasn't being one. But hold it right there, because this next contestant takes the crown for being the heel of Hell's Kitchen Season 16. And sometime around the 4th episode, he took the blatant bullying to another level. Back at the dorms, Johnny McDevitt wasn't holding back. He declared that he wanted to reduce the red team to tears, just like they did with Jessica, who got the boot not too long ago.
I'll make her cry.
We picked Jessica and they lost and Jessica went out.
One of his targets had already walked out, and the dude was already on the hunt for his next. And well, that's when he set his sights on Kimberly Roth.
I just can't wait to make her cry.
Such a bully, this one, I tell you. He then had the audacity to call her voice annoying and was practically rubbing his hands together in anticipation of seeing her break down in tears. Swap that goatee out for a mustache to twirl, and I'd say Hell's Kitchen had become a Saturday morning cartoon. Wondering why he made such a villain out of himself? Well, apparently, he gets a kick out of making people cry. What a damn asshole, right? I mean, if that doesn't scream bully to you, I don't know what does. But Kimberly wasn't about to let his bullying slide. You see, she had some seriously thick skin. And unlike Jessica, instead of crumbling, she stood her ground. Oops, it looks like Johnny Boy over here chose the wrong person to piss off. Although initially, Kimberly tried to ignore him, there came a point where she couldn't let it slide anymore. She straight up roasted the blue team, calling them pathetic sheep. And you know what she called herself? A wolf, the kind that fights back. Damn, this woman's got some grit. What's more, she tore into Johnny for his nasty attitude, accusing him of picking on people just to boost his own ego.
Why don't you start acting like a gentleman and be respectful to people and stop trying to rip on people because you feel about yourself?
God, now that was a delight to watch, wasn't it? Biting back against a bully like that? Wow. I could never get enough of that. Honestly, where was she when I was in elementary school? I could have really used the help. That day, Kimberly showed everyone that she was this badass bitch you don't want to mess with. And guess how it all turned out in the end? Let's start with Johnny, shall we? Well, he ended up in 12th place. Yeah, dude became a clear loser in the competition to match how much of a loser he was in real life. And what about Kimberly? She continued to show that signature strength and resilience of hers and managed to secure 5th place. On Hell's Kitchen, that's respectable as hell. She proved to not only Chef Ramsay and the world that she could whip up some crazy ass dishes. But above all, she proved that bullies don't always get to have the upper hand. Amen to that. Well, here we go again with another Hell's Kitchen showdown. And this time, we've got Jen Gavin in the spotlight. Get ready for some serious kitchen chaos from the 20 ingredients challenge, you guys. Because this one turned sour even before anyone could even have the courtesy of throwing down the gauntlet. So during this challenge, it seems like Jen was already on thin ice with her new teammates. She was making decisions for her dish without even asking anyone, rubbing them the wrong way from the get-go. And the drama didn't stop there. When Bobby's veal wasn't turning out as according to plan, Jen casually suggested that LaRosse could turn it into a surf and turf dish. But dude hated the idea.
I hate doing surf and turf, that's not my thing.
Fast forward to the final moments of plating, and tensions were running high. Jen was seriously annoyed with LaRosse for his less than perfectly plated veal. And to add more fuel to the fire, when the clock struck 0, LaRosse forgot an ingredient. But leave it to Jen to come up with a solution. So what did she do, you ask? Well, just watch this.
Jen was telling me to say you rendered the fat off of it, but for me to lie and tell him that I used 5 ingredients, that's gonna haunt me forever.
Yup, she tried to convince him to straight up cook lies and claim that he used 5 ingredients instead of 4. Smart move? I don't think so. Now, should he take her advice? Of course not. But hey, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. During judging, she faced off against Matt, and her dish, pancetta wrapped and roasted quail with just 4 ingredients, managed to score a point. However, when LaRosse revealed that he also used only 4 ingredients, Jen lost it. How dare he not follow her orders, right? But things took a turn for the worse when it was time for the grand finale, the punishment. The blue team had to endure laundry day, and under Jean-Philippe's watchful eye, Jen's attitude was in full force. She was giving him major attitude, refusing to crack a smile when asked. Throughout the punishment, she was on LaRosse's case for his mistake, and she was ice cold towards Jean-Philippe when he attempted to lift her spirits.
Jen, shall I see this lovely smile on your face? You ain't gonna be seeing no smile on my face.
Just leave it, JP. This one doesn't deserve that kind of attention at all. Needless to say, the team was thrown into chaos, with Petroza even comparing her attitude to a volcano ready to erupt and poison the atmosphere. But what she said next to LaRosse's face left everyone shocked.
My shit was flawless, so I don't give a fuck. Stupid ass.
Damn, that was brutal. Even when the red team returned from the reward, Jen was locked in her own world, refusing to engage with anyone and just thinking about herself. Well, it's like she always does. Now, this was quite the Hell's Kitchen roller coaster, and Jen's fiery attitude certainly left a lasting impression on the entire team. Now, get ready to be bombarded with cringe, because this next contestant was a real piece of work throughout the second season. So, let's rewind to the relay challenge, where Heather decided to sit out.
I'm gonna get out first, guys. Only because I want it to be perfect.
And Sarah Horowitz, well, she wasn't exactly compassionate. Far from it, actually. She labeled Heather as a princess for volunteering to take a breather, even though she knew Heather was actually hurt.
Princess Heather made it seem like her whole hand was falling off. Talk about playing the victim card.
Like, have some decency, jeez. And just when you thought Sarah's rudeness was at its peak, she took it up a notch. During prep, she got ticked off by Heather's well-intentioned advice and responded by flipping her the bird.
Don't spew shit on me, right back at you.
Yep, you heard that right. Like, just take the note and move on. It would save everyone the trouble of dealing with your shitty attitude. But wait, that's not even the half of it. The dinner service brought a whole new level of tension to the table. And well, of course, the kitchen. Sarah was stationed at the appetizer station, and boy, she was annoyed by Heather's leadership style.
Heather is very abrasive. She just barks orders like a drill sergeant.
Heather's way of giving her orders got under her skin, and she straight up compared Heather to a drill sergeant. And when Chef Ramsay asked for a time check, both Sarah and Heather answered simultaneously, which got Ramsay pretty annoyed. But oh, it gets worse. During the chaos of the dinner service, Ramsay called out Heather for messing up wine sauce. And guess what? Sarah, instead of being a team player, had a smile on her face while Heather was struggling not 5 steps away from her. And to top it all off, Sarah's appetizers were praised for being excellent, just adding to how much of a mess the whole thing was. Yeah, season 2 wasn't exactly a walk in the park, with this contestant spewing their sour attitude all over the place. But guess what? She didn't let her attitude be limited to Hell's Kitchen. Well, we got to know this from a ton of folks over on good old Reddit who came out to express what they went through because of her. One comment came courtesy of a person who went to boarding school with her. She said that Sarah was a huge bully and overall just rude as hell back in the day. Some things never change, I guess. I hope you're doing a little better now, Nikki. Nobody deserves that toxicity in their life. But here comes another contestant who takes the cake for having zero respect towards Chef Ramsay, let alone anyone else. Get ready for some jaw-dropping rudeness straight out of Season 12, Episode 2. So both the teams sucked during the challenge, as is tradition, and they both had to nominate 2 contestants. Here's where things go haywire. During the deliberations, Keisha was a few steps ahead and decided to nominate Nicole Rutz, thinking about how the team would work with fewer chefs. But hold up, that set off an explosive argument between them about who was intimidating who. Keisha was throwing threats around, but Nicole wasn't about to back down, claiming that she wasn't scared. But guess what? Nicole didn't get nominated for elimination. Whew, right? I guess she'll live to cook another day. Well, you'd think, but nah, she was far from safe because Chef Ramsay saw right through her.
Nicole, you gotta get out immediately.
He personally sent her packing for having no passion, no fight, and definitely no leadership skills. As she left, Nicole didn't go quietly, she had that attitude of hers on full display.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
I know she was mad at that point, but showing that kind of attitude to Chef Ramsay of all people was definitely uncalled for. You were the one that fucked yourself over, okay? I can't believe she didn't even acknowledge Ramsay's good night until he said it again. And then she let loose, calling him an asshole, and flipped off the camera on her way out. She didn't give 2 fucks about Ramsay's opinion and told him to kiss her, well, I'm sure your imagination can fill in the blanks. But here's the cherry on top, guess what Chef Ramsay had to say about her later. He said, "I'm not hunting for a line cook, but even if I were, Nicole wouldn't even make the cut. She was utterly useless." Well, looks like Nicole left her mark on Hell's Kitchen. Shame that it wasn't the kind of mark you'd ever want to leave there though. Consider that bridge burnt. But this next contestant thought that he was clever by talking trash behind Chef Ramsay's back. But the famous chef has got eyes and ears everywhere, my man. So this gem is from Season 1, Episode 3. Allow me to set the stage. The famous chef couldn't help but point out that he seemed to be getting worse and worse as the competition rolled on. But Jeff had a comeback. It was his first time on the line.
Chef, this is my first time on a line.
Chef Ramsay, never one to miss an opportunity, took Jeff aside for a little talk about his attitude.
Well, you're f***ing timing, you jumped up the f***er, with 30 customers not eating.
But wait, the drama's not even close to being over. Jeff declared that he was quote-unquote done to Chris, who tried to talk him off the ledge. Jeff played the "I'm not a quitter" card, which just got on Chef Ramsay's nerves. Ramsay had enough of Jeff's arrogance and told him straight up that he wasn't a cook either.
You're not a f***ing cook either.
But Jeff didn't back off. Oh, no. He muttered "asshole" under his breath, and sadly for him, sous chef Mary Ann heard it loud and clear. She ordered Jeff to repeat what he just said, and nope, it wasn't because she was unsure.
What did you just say? I want you to say it louder. I want you to say it louder, Chef.
Jeff was then called over by Chef Ramsay, and instead of backing down, he repeated his asshole comment right out loud. Well, you can't say the dude doesn't have some balls. He even took off his jacket right then and there and stormed out of Hell's Kitchen for good.
That is not f***ing cool. I've had enough of it.
Talk about a memorable exit. But let me tell you, that didn't earn him any brownie points with Chris, who was not at all impressed by that dramatic exit he just pulled. What's more, as a result, Jeff's exit interview never even aired, and he got the cold comment treatment and his jacket hanging at the end of the episode. Talk about disrespect, but I can't say it wasn't warranted. And what did Chef Ramsay have to say about it all? He said, "I had to laugh at the end when he called me an asshole. I've been called far worse than that." Classic Ramsay, right? By the way, this wasn't the first time someone talked behind Chef Ramsay's back. But guess what? This time, he wasn't about to let it slide. Here's the scoop from Season 12. So, during the Signature Dish Challenge, it was Mike's turn to have his dish judged, and he faced off against Keisha. He dished out tortellini with tomatoes, but here's where it got dicey. When Ramsay asked about the filling, Mike had something that left everyone shocked.
It's just a cheese. It's a packaged tortellini.
Damn, he served plain old cheese and whipped it up from a store-bought package? Fine dining, right? And if that wasn't enough, when Ramsay inquired about the tomato sauce, you won't believe what Mike confessed to next.
They were canned tomatoes.
This dude knows where he is, right? We're at Hell's Kitchen, not Olive Garden, right? Yeah, just checking. Well, Chef Ramsay wasn't having any of it. And he didn't hesitate to do this. He straight up chucked Mike's dish into the trash, calling it a joke. Even Gabriel chimed in, wondering why Mike would even dare to serve Chef Ramsay a dish that came straight out of a box.
Who does that?
Mike got defeated by Keisha that round because, like, of course he did. But here's where it gets juicy. He got all huffy about Chef Ramsay tossing his dish. Yeah, because his TV dinner quality meal definitely deserved an A+ from a Michelin star chef, right? And guess what? Instead of just swallowing his pride, he decided to talk back about it.
That's bro. Come here.
And oh boy, Chef Ramsay didn't miss a beat. He called Mike out, asking what he had just said. Mike was left speechless, and Chef Ramsay took the opportunity to lay it down for him clear as day.
Say it to my face, not my back.
You gotta shut off.
Lesson learned, Ramsay doesn't mess around, especially when someone tries to be a smart mouth behind his back. But what exactly happens when a contestant dares to laugh at Chef Ramsay himself? Oh boy, do I have a treat for you all. Alright, so during the dinner service, Vinny Fama was holding down the fort at the appetizer station. Things took a turn for the worse when his spaghetti got completely overcooked.
It's like glue. It's paste.
Ugh, it looked like soggy paste, seriously. I didn't even know you could get spaghetti looking like that. But that's not even the whole story. He was caught doing this.
This is absolute rubbish. Get it in the bin. Is that really funny?
Yep, he was laughing at Chef Ramsay's slang of all things. Could you believe that? Laughing at Chef Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen? Was this dude insane or just plain stupid? Whatever the case, he was asking for trouble. And the drama didn't stop there. Vinny needed more vegetable stock for his risotto, but Rock informed them that they had just run out. So Vinny decided to get creative.
Just come here, you. You're putting water in the risotto.
What the hell? He figured water would do the trick since vegetables were mostly water anyway, right? Wrong. Ramsay took a taste of that watery risotto and didn't mince his words when he compared it to Nat's piss. That's certainly a new one. Chef Ramsay wasn't about to let Vinny off the hook about it though.
Get off the section.
Well served. He was booted off the appetizer station and Chef Ramsay sent him to wash the dishes for the rest of the night. Maybe being a busboy for the night would humble him. Well, more on that in a bit. Meanwhile, Brad swooped in to rescue the station, but Vinny's fate was sealed. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, as appetizers were being sent out from the Blue Kitchen, Chef Ramsay gave Vinny a snide remark asking if he was enjoying his pot and pan washing duty. Vinny tried to play it cool and claimed that he was, but was he?
Vinny's just peaked in life. Dishwasher.
During the post-mortem discussion, Chef Ramsay laid into Vinny for the risotto debacle. But Vinny wasn't backing down.
I didn't know what you wanted. You didn't want to show me. So what did you want me to do?
Yeah, he ended up arguing that Ramsay hadn't given him clear instructions. Well, that led Ramsay to hit back with a zinger. He called Vinny a two-faced lazy little fucker. Vinny got all riled up, but Rock stepped in to calm the situation down.
Please shut up. Who are you talking to? Are you serious? I couldn't believe it.
Needless to say, the blue team somehow managed to pull off a victory during this chaotic service. Who would have thought that anyone would dare to laugh at Ramsay, huh? This goes to show that Hell's Kitchen is never short on jaw-dropping moments. So, who do you think was the rudest chef of them all? Did they make the list this time around, or did I pass them over? Go ahead and drop those names in the comments section down below, and maybe we'll come back to this topic in another video. And hey, don't forget to join me on my channel's Discord server for free, where we can discuss more times contestants had the gall to talk back to Ramsay. And guess what? I even have an exclusive server for those of you who are interested. Well, I'm excited to see you there, but before you leave, make sure to smack that like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. Also, don't forget to check out my latest video right here, since it's even crazier.